Today, we're diving into the key ideas from the fantastic book Ikigai by Hector Garcia and Francesc Morales.
You've probably seen this diagram, right? It's everywhere. It promises to be the ultimate roadmap to a meaningful life, found right in that perfect sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for all come together.
It's a really neat idea. But what if I told you this image, while it's a great starting point, is actually a Western take on the concept, and it misses the true, much deeper meaning of Ikigai?
Yeah, that's right. So let's peel back the layers of this modern myth and really get to the heart of what Ikigai actually means to the people who live it every single day.
See, the real definition isn't about finding that one perfect job that checks all 4 boxes. It's much simpler and honestly way more profound than that. It's about the joy and the purpose you find in just living your life, your reason to get up in the morning.
This explainer is brought to you by ECLand, our platform that's all about helping you learn and grow. We've got a ton of resources to explore, and we'll touch on that a bit later. For now, let's dive into the core ideas of this book.
To really understand Ikigai in action, the authors went somewhere pretty special. They traveled to Okinawa, Japan, a famous blue zone, which is one of those rare places where people live exceptionally long and healthy lives.
And the numbers there are just, well, they're mind-blowing. Nearly 25 out of every 100,000 people live to be over 100. That's way, way higher than the global average. But it's not just that they live longer. In this so-called land of immortals, they're also happier and healthier well into their old age.
So what's going on here? What's the secret? Well, it turns out it's not one single thing. It's a whole mix of lifestyle habits that all work together. Their diet? Mostly plant-based. They have this principle called hara hachibu, which basically means eat until you're 80% full. They're always moving, but gently. Things like walking and gardening. And this is a big one. They don't really retire. They just keep doing things they love. And maybe most important of all, their community bonds are incredibly strong.
A huge piece of that community is something called a moai. Now imagine having a small group of friends for life who are there for you no matter what, socially, emotionally, even financially. It's this incredible built-in support system that makes sure nobody has to go through life's ups and downs alone.
Okay, so beyond the food and the friends, there's a huge inner component to Ikigai. It's tied to a powerful mental state that I bet you've actually felt before.
You know that amazing feeling when you're so deep into something you're doing that the rest of the world just kind of fades away? Time flies by, you're totally focused, you're in the zone. Well, that state has a name. It's called flow, and finding that feeling is a huge part of living your Ikigai.
And as you're learning these new frameworks, remember that applying them is key. If you want to dive deeper into practical skills, you should check out the courses, videos, and in-depth blogs on epclland.com. Now, let's get back to the next key concept.
The cool thing is, flow isn't just something that happens by accident. You can actually create the conditions for it. The sweet spot is finding a task that has a high level of challenge, but also matches your high level of skill. Something that stretches you, but doesn't totally overwhelm you. You combine that with a clear goal and no distractions, and that's the magic recipe.
And this is so important. The book makes the point that happiness isn't always found at the finish line, when you achieve the big goal. So often the real joy is found in the process itself, in those moments when you are just completely and totally engaged.
And here's the best part. You don't need some grand passion project to experience this. The book talks about finding microflow in the most ordinary everyday tasks. By just bringing a little more focus and maybe adding a small ritual, like putting on your favorite music while you wash the dishes, you can turn a boring chore into a moment of genuine engagement.
All right, now let's talk about the mindset that really ties all of this together. It's a philosophy about the art of living itself. In a world that is constantly pushing us to be perfect, there's this beautiful Japanese philosophy called wabi-sabi. It's all about accepting that things are temporary and imperfect. It's about finding beauty in the flaws, in the cracks, in the things that aren't quite complete. This kind of thinking helps build more than just resilience, which is, the ability to bounce back from stress. It helps build something even more powerful called anti-fragility. Anti-fragility means you don't just survive stress, you actually get stronger because of it, kind of like how a muscle grows back stronger after it's been challenged. The book connects this directly to Stoic philosophy. It's a powerful reminder that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react to it. And that's key. Ikigai isn't about creating some perfect, problem-free life. It's about building the inner strength to navigate life just as it is. So, with all that said, how can you start actually cultivating your own Ikigai? How can you find your own personal reason for getting out of bed in the morning?
Well, the book boils everything down into these 10 simple rules. Things like stay active, take it slow, surround yourself with good friends. You notice the theme here? It's not about one big, grand search. It's about the small, simple actions you take every single day.
And this right here is probably the single biggest takeaway. Your Ikigai isn't some hidden treasure you have to go find. It's something you build every single day with your habits, your relationships, and your focus on what's right in front of you.
So I want to ask you a question. What's one small thing, anything in your daily life that already gives you that little spark of joy or a sense of flow? Maybe it's brewing your morning coffee or walking your dog or working on a puzzle. Let me know in the comments below.
If you found this summary valuable, please give this explainer a like, share it with a friend who could use it, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next video.